wabarakatuh. So yesterday we were discussing about the fight and flight hormone, which is releasing out from the adrenal gland, that too located on upper side of the both the kidney, left and right kidney. So adrenal adrenaline is secreted directly into the blood and carried to different parts of the body. Assume this condition with the scariest condition, like assume this condition with the ghost. Suddenly, I'm thinking about the ghost and I start visualizing the ghost in the dark itself. So at that time, I may get the goosebumps. Okay, so that goosebumps is nothing but the hormones which is released out from the adrenaline gland. Okay, that's why it is also called as fight or flight hormones. Either you need to fight with it or else you need to run away from that place. Okay, see what is going to happen. The target organs or the specific tissues on which it acts, including the heart. See, we can say the major organ is our heart, which is responsible for this enact. Next, as a result, the heart beats faster, resulting in supply of more oxygen to our muscles. See, no doubt, whenever we are feeling scared, at that time, at that time, we need to, or we may not increase our heartbeats. But definitely this is happening when we are scared. Okay. Okay, another condition we can assume, in front of us suddenly a lion appear. At that time, no doubt, we are going to have the goosebumps. We are going to start shivering. We are going to lose our ability to think. Okay, this may happen in some peoples, but those who have the willpower, they are going to be calm. They don't get panic and they try to escape from that place in a certain way. They are going to build the strategies. See, no doubt their heartbeat is also running fast due to release of the adrenaline glands hormones. Okay, so next, the blood to digestive system and skin is reduced due to contraction of muscles around small arteries in these organs. See, first thing, the blood flow towards the digestive system as well as to the skin is reduced. Why it is reduced and why we are looking pale means this is the reason. The blood flow is going to be reduced. See, whenever we are scared, whenever we are panicking, in that condition, what is going to happen? Our blood flow directly to the digestive system as well as to our skin is going to stop. Not completely, but it is reduced. See, this diverts the blood to our skeletal muscles. The breathing rate also increases because of the contraction of the diaphragm and the rib muscles. See, here one more reason is what, when we are panicking, when we are fearing, when we are scared, at that time our heartbeat is, no doubt, is too much. Okay, during that time, no doubt we are also having respiration, that too very fast, and this will help to our skeletal muscles. See, the breathing rate also increases because of the contraction of the diaphragm and the rib muscles. All these responses together enable the animal body to be ready to deal with the situation. Such animal hormones are part of the endocrine system, which constitutes a second way of control and coordination in our body. See, similar thing as I've given example for the ghost, here we can say prey and predator interaction. What is meant by prey? Prey means one is going to get by hunter or the predator. Okay, see, the predator is going to hunt the prey. So, here to make them ready to face the situation or to fight the situation, for example, lion and deer. Firstly, when the deer is going to see the lion, at that time, what is going to happen? It starts running uncontrollably, it starts running. After, see, as we all know, the tiger having a too much speed, but here the deer having a specialized adaptations, we can say the hormones which is secreting in its body, they are going to make its speed, we can say its movement in a wavy or zigzag way, that we can say it can't cope up with the speed of that tiger, but it can divert the speed of that tiger. Okay, so for this reaction, the hormones only are responsible. Remember that plants have hormones that control their directional growth. Say, whatever the plant's hormone like ghrelin, cytokinin, ethylene, abscisic acid, all these hormones are responsible for their growth in a directional way. Okay, what function do animal hormones perform? On the face of it, we cannot imagine their role in a directional growth. See, hormones in animals doesn't have any of the directional growth. We have never seen an animal growing more in one direction or the other direction, depending on the light or gravity. But if we think about it a bit more, it will become see it will become evident that even in animal bodies, growth happens in carefully controlled places. See, suppose if we need to have two ears, one nose, two eyes, two hands, and two legs. See, no doubt there is a particular direction too. How? The hands need to connect it to shoulder itself. The leg should connect it to its lower abdominal part itself. So we can say one, not the directly we can say, but indirectly we can say it is in a directional way. But in a appropriate, we can say in a controlled way it is happening. See, assume that if my nose develop or growth about 1 feet or 2 feet, am I going to be look like a human being? No, it is not going to happen. I'm not going to look like a human being. Similarly, way, if my hand develop, one of the my hand, it may be right or it may be left. If it develop about 10 feet, like in plants, is it going to be okay? No, it is not going to be okay. So that's why our hormones are going to control all these things. See, plants will grow leaves in many places on the plant body, for example, but we do not grow fingers on our faces. The design of the body is carefully maintained even during the growth of our children. See, this is happening during our growth phase. See, assume that if fingers have been developed throughout our faces, see here. Firstly, look at these diagrams. These are the endocrine glands in human beings, both in as well as in female. See, here we have pineal gland, hypothalamus, pituitary gland, thyroid gland, parathyroid gland, thymus, pancreas, adrenal gland, testes in males. Whereas instead of testes, we have ovaries in the females. Okay, so these are certain endocrine glands which is present in both a male and as well as female. See, only we can say differentiating part is only the reproductive parts or the gonads, which is responsible for the production of male and female gametes. See, in males it is testes and in females ovary. So next, let us examine some example to understand how hormones help in coordinated growth. See, we need to go through this how our hormones are coordinating in our growth phase. We have all seen salt packets which say iodized salt or enriched with iodine. See, we have observed this during the advertisement of some newspapers we have gone through. Why it is important for us? First thing, iodized salt in our diet, we require it. Why we need it? Iodine is necessary for the thyroid gland to make thyroxine hormone. See, here one hormone is released by thyroid gland, that is nothing but the thyroxine hormone. What it is going to do? It is going to regulate carbohydrate, protein and fat metabolism in the body so as to provide the best balance for the growth. See, carbohydrate, protein, and fat. If the metabolism of these things doesn't happen, at that time we cannot consider that our growth will be developed in a proper way. See, next, iodine is essential for the synthesis of thyroxine. Iodine is mainly responsible for what? Synthesis of thyroxine in our body. In case iodine is deficient in our diet, there is a possibility that we might suffer from goiter. One of the symptoms in this disease is swollen neck. See, with the help of this, we can correlate that where our thyroid gland is located. See, sometimes we come across people who are either very short, dwarfs, or extremely tall, giants. Have you ever wondered how these happen? See, growth hormone is one of the hormone which is secreted by the pituitary gland. As, a, as its name indicates, growth hormone regulates growth and development of the body. If there is a deficiency of this hormone in childhood, it leads to dwarfism. If you must have noticed many dramatic changes in your appearance as well as that of your friends as you approach 10 to 12 years of age. These changes associated with puberty are because of the secretion of testosterone in males and estrogen in females. See, these are the feminine and masculine hormones which is secreted. Testosterone are secreted in males and estrogen is released in the females. So these are also known as feminine and masculine hormones. Do you know anyone in your family or friends who has been advised by the doctor to take less sugar? Person is suffering from the sugar, that is nothing diabetes. Okay, so one of the important information about the hypothalamus, it plays an important role in the release of many hormones. It is responsible for the release of many hormones. For example, when the level of growth hormone is low, the hypothalamus releases growth hormone releasing factor which stimulates the pituitary gland to release growth hormone. Sometimes if the growth is stuck during the childhood, during that hypothalamus is going to release growth hormone releasing factor, which is going to boost out. We can say it works as a catalyst over there. If it is so important that hormone should be secreted in precise quantities, we need a mechanism through which this is done. The timing and amount of hormone released are regulated by feedback mechanism. See, for example, if the sugar levels in blood rise, they are detected by the cells of the pancreas, which respond by producing more insulin. As the blood sugar levels fall, insulin secretion is reduced. See, to balance that, our pancreas is going to reduce, increases our production of insulin, and this is going to affect, we can say, our blood. How it is affecting means the sugar level in our blood is increased. That's why the insulin secretion is going to reduced. In diabetic patient it is happening. See, it is one of the table in which the hormones, the endocrine and the function. See, the hormones which is releasing from the endocrine gland. First, growth hormone. Growth hormone is released or secreted by the pituitary gland and thyroid gland. And what are the function of this? This pituitary, second thyroid, it regulates the metabolism for body growth. It see, it is about the insulin. Insulin is going to regulate the blood sugar level. Next, testosterone. See, testosterone means the hormones which is secreted from the testis. They are going to see, they are responsible for the masculine characters. Second, endocrine gland is ovary. Ovary, so they are responsible for the development of female sex organs, secondary sex organs, we can say. It regulates the menstrual cycle, etc. Next, adrenaline hormone, which is released out from the adrenal gland. So, next one, adrenaline releasing hormones. Here, it is going to stimulate pituitary gland to release the hormones. We can say it is one of the most important hormone from the adrenal gland, which is which is going to stimulate the pituitary glands to release the particular hormones. So, hope so you guys are enjoying understanding my lectures. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe and comment if any feedback is there. After subscription, hit the bell icon and share it with your friends, family and the students who require it. So, Allah Hafiz. Meet you in the next video. तब तक के लिए